Welcome, friends, to Simple Steps for the Whole You. We're back, and today we're talking about a simple Christmas. Everything around here we talk about is simple, right? So, a simple Christmas. And we're going to have 2 episodes for you. In this one, we are focusing on bigger does not equal better. So, this is episode 65, and like I said, we like to keep things simple around here, including the holidays. Maybe I might even add, especially the holidays. Um,
Especially.
especially, right? And I think that most of us have probably experienced the overcomplicated, the big holiday experience where you try to attend all the events, you buy all the gifts, you make all the food, and then you eat all the food and spend all the money. It's like big, 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 more, and stress, right? Like it might sound good, but the end result tends to be stress. So one of my daughters and I love to watch the Hallmark movies. Are there any other Christmas Hallmark? Michelle, do you watch those
Sometimes I can
sometimes?
only take so many.
I know. So far, I have not burnt out. It's really kind of crazy, but I mean, I'm always usually multitasking. They're that type, if you have
Yeah.
watched them, you guys know they're a multitask kind of a movie. You kind of know what's going to
It's good
happen
to
within
do
the
a
first 5
puzzle or
minutes.
something,
Yeah,
or
right. Fold the
address your
laundry.
Christmas cards. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And in those movies, even if you haven't seen them, you can kind of imagine when you hear the term like Hallmark Christmas movie. They look so ideal. Like my daughter and I always joke about how it's always snowing, yet the snow's not piling up. They're not
Yeah.
like having to like stomp through the snow or anything. Everything is just ideal. And I think to
Right.
myself, I always like try to identify with the female character, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, they look really healthy. When are they exercising? Okay. And then I think to myself, like, when are they doing their laundry? Like, their clothes are clean, everything's, ready for them. And when are they cleaning their house? Their house always looks perfect. And when are they working, to earn the money for, all the things that they're doing and everything? Like, it makes it look so ideal.
Yeah.
And we know that that's not really how it is. So we have to say no to some things to enjoy our holiday. So we're going to bring you 2 episodes on Christmas, and today we're focusing on the idea that does not always equal better, and that saying "go big" or "go home." I kind of like that, but it's really not true. Like you could have a simple holiday at home, and could be beautiful,
Yes.
and it's probably closer, truly, to what you really desire. I think if you pause, we think if you pause and think and about what
Yes.
you truly desire, that probably is closer. The simple holiday is probably closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you some things to help you think through that and what you want your Christmas to look like. And I was just finished a book. I think I referred to it a couple episodes ago called A Tree Full of Angels. From Macrino Whitaker. Oh, it took me a long time. It's kind of a devotional almost. And so she's got this short thing I would love to read just to tee us up here today about going to malls. And I know we don't really have malls that much anymore. Malls are a little bit of a thing of the past, but nevertheless, there are those of you who don't just shop on Amazon or online, but you're out in the stores and you'll really resonate with this. So we all will. My restlessness drove me to the mall today. This is kind of like from her journal. There, I milled around among all the shoppers looking at things I didn't need and wanting to fill up my emptiness by purchasing some useless item. Suddenly, something within me brought a poignant awareness of all the people rushing through the mall. It was as though in the midst of this crowded mall, something holy was oozing through these scurrying human beings. I felt a sacred urge to kneel down in their midst and bow my head in honor of all the beauty in their lives that goes unseen. I overcame this urge rather quickly, lest I be trampled by the scurrying mob or locked up for being mentally unbalanced. We must, after all, follow the normal majority. But I did manage to find a bench nearby where I sat down and had long looks at the people. And the long looks became prayers. I prayed the people as they rushed, casting healing glances in their direction. Oh God, I prayed, these are the people made in your image. Do you rush like this, God? Do you hurry through the heavens looking for bargains? Oh God, be in every heart that hurries. be in every step that people take, and help them to know what it is they're shopping for. Feed the hungers of their hearts with the food they'll never find in shopping malls. Help them to slow down so they can taste their true hunger. And while still gazing at these hurrying people, I had a strange and lovely dream for them. I dreamed that everyone in the mall suddenly fell to their knees and adored God and each other. A strange dream, perhaps, but wouldn't it be powerful if it came true? Can you imagine the peace of such a moment? Everyone in the shopping mall kneeling and gazing at the image of God. Can you hear this moment of quiet? Can you see this moment of holiness? And can you imagine how heaven would feel? And she ended up just going to her car without buying anything useless. The end.
That's so beautiful. I
It's
love
pretty
that so much.
amazing. It gives you
Yes.
she's such a good writer that you sense that feeling that goes from that restricted sort of rushing in the mobs of people just like stressed to the everyone's bowing and it's sacred. It's just such a distinction in those two pictures. So
Yeah, like getting back to what's truly important. Like that, yeah, such clarity. So good.
So one way to make this season less complicated, less big, is to rethink gifts. We'll start there, okay? Gifts are, some people have just given up on gifts. They don't do them, and good for you. But
Right?
we're all at different places on it. And so let's just talk about this idea that is something that I had forgotten about, occurred to me this year, that I don't want to spend too much time getting gifts. How might I be able to give the gift of presence, my presence with the PRESENCE versus presence things, right? And all of these little ideas that I'm going to give you can still be given to your family and friends. You can write a little gift coupon. You could write it in a card, but you can make it like a little gift certificate, put it in a box or an envelope, tie a bow on it. It can be all pretty still. But here's just some ideas. I'm sure you guys have many, many more. This could be fun in our Facebook group to talk about.
Yeah.
So here's some ideas I came up with partly from a book I have. So you might invite a friend to take a walk, go to coffee, have lunch. Perhaps a friend comes to mind that you haven't seen in a while, and readily they come to mind like, oh, that would be a great Christmas. And I know it's a busy time, but coffee or walk, you can do it in pretty short order. And then maybe you're part of a group, like a friend group or a Bible study group, and that group might pool resources or money to give a gift to a couple with young children. Or dear to my heart is a family with special needs who doesn't get to take a date day. They don't get time off, but they desperately need it. I can't even tell you how meaningful this would be. Even like a gift certificate to go to dinner and an offer to babysit. And it's going to be huge. It's way better than giving them a candle.
Right.
I'm just saying.
And candles are pretty great, but
I know candles
that's
are
even
great.
better.
I love candles. And here's another idea. Offer to help someone with a big project that they've been having a difficult time starting. Come alongside of them. Say, hey, I'm going to just do that with you. I know it's been on your heart. You want to declutter your closet, or you've been wanting to start something and it's tough. What if I did it with you? What if even if I can't do it, just cheer you on and sit next to you? That's a cool gift certificate to get for somebody.
That's a great idea. I love that.
It sounds, and you'll have fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You could drop off soup or bread or maybe a Christmas treat at a friend's house unexpectedly, right? Put your a little Christmas card in it, ring the doorbell, leave the surprise, but you could include a note, say this is from da da da. But unexpected, like unplanned. This is of course, especially great if someone is having a tough Christmas or they're super busy and they're not even been home and they don't even get to use their kitchen and somebody drops dinner at the door. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's the best. Yeah.
The best. And the last one is pick someone that's in need of affirmations. and write
Mm.
an affirmation card or note for them, calling out all the good that you see in them. I think of a young single girl that Lisa and I know that we just felt like, oh, she needs to be affirmed, for who she
Mm.
is. And
Yeah.
so we try to do that. But I think of moms, single moms, or moms
Hmm.
who are just overwhelmed. They're like, you hear from their lips all the time, I don't feel like a good mom, or I just feel too busy and don't feel like I'm
Yeah.
doing a good job. Send them a note and
Yeah.
say, affirm, you are a great mom. You are doing
Mm.
your best. You are doing a great job.
Yeah.
So just speak those words of affirmation.
Hmm.
Drop it on a little card. Um, Drop some chocolate in there with it, even better.
Right.
Chocolate affirms.
That's right. Right. I just thought of this with that last one that you were talking about with the affirmations. I've done this before, like as a family, but I was thinking about this would be a cool gift to make a jar full of affirmations
Mm,
for someone that comes to
yeah,
mind. Which someone came to mind for me as you were saying it, so I wrote it down. And
awesome.
yeah, I love that.
Good idea.
So good.
So yeah, handmade gifts are fun too. What do you already make with your hands that you might use as a gift?
Yeah, great ideas. Um, okay, and then another important part of keeping this season from just becoming too big or overcomplicated is just to the whole idea of like acknowledging where you are at this season. Has it been a difficult year? Are you grieving something or somebody, a
Mhm.
loss that in your life, a change in your life? Are there things you need to pause and celebrate? Is it a particularly busy or stressful time in your life? Like just really taking stock on where you're at right now. And we talk about self compassion a lot, and that's what just comes to mind with that is um, it's okay to something that I feel like God put on my heart the other day when I was about to go speak to some women was I felt like He wanted me to say, maybe He wants me to say it here because I didn't get to do that. Is just let them know. Stop shooting on yourself. That whole thing, that
Yeah.
whole idea of like, I should be this certain way. I should
Mm,
be able to do all the things this season, um, and to just be okay with where you're at right now.
mm,
Even if you can't say to yourself, it's been a really difficult year, maybe that's not really true in your life, but maybe you're just not in a place of doing all the things this year for whatever reason,
yeah.
maybe out
You're
of a
tired. You're
really
just not feeling it. Yeah.
you're just tired, or you reflect on some of these questions that we're going to see and that I'm going to share, and you'll say, I'm just not doing that this year. um, yeah, I keep thinking of all these examples. Like I watched Christmas with the Cranks the other. It sounds like I just sit around and watch
Sure does.
Christmas movie after Christmas movie, but I watched Christmas with the Cranks the other day, and they were just like, not doing Christmas this year. What? You're not doing Christmas? And like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't, that's not what we're saying. Michelle and I are not saying that, but it's okay to, say no to some things.
Cause a family
um,
rebellion.
yeah, there you go. So yeah, taking stock of where you're at this season. And another way to do that is to look back at last year or past seasons, and that will help you to look forward. So these are Michelle. I have not read this book, but she shared it with me a lot, lots of ideas from it. The book called The Plan by Kendra, is it Adachi?
Yeah, I think you say
Is that how you say it?
Adachi. Yeah.
Adachi. Okay, so it's called The Plan. So there are lots of good questions to help you reflect, but we're just going to share three of them. One is, what do you remember from last holiday season? I think that can be um, really can kind of put you in your place, I guess, when you're thinking about this year. Like, what do you even remember from last year? Like, what was memorable might help you think about what was good or not less than good. What has changed since last season? If things have changed, expectations probably should too. Maybe your kids are in a different stage of life. Maybe your job is different. What's changed? Maybe you're working full time and you weren't before, or you haven't, just so many things could change. So your expectations of yourself need to change. Um, and what mattered last season that doesn't really matter this season? Yeah, I think about that a lot with my girls getting older and things that
Mhm.
we used to do that I've just let go of because I think I might have shared about this last year on our episode around Christmas times. I used to make cinnamon rolls every year. And until one year, like everyone kind of nicely shared with me, we don't really like cinnamon rolls, like some of those expectations like that you
I
thought
do.
really
Make them for
mattered.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Oh man, I love cinnamon rolls. And I just left a class where they were carrying a whole tray of them through the
Oh my
door.
goodness.
I think they were having
Wow.
a little celebration today without me.
Oh, what were they
Darn.
doing?
All right, love those. And here's some more questions for this season.
With your accent, you
Yeah,
developed an accent halfway through the episode.
we have many, trust me. All right, here's a question if I could stop laughing. What would I love to repeat this year? That kind of goes along with Lisa's question of what do you remember? If you can't remember anything, then I don't know, there's probably nothing you want to repeat.
Right?
And this question's the big one. What needs to be made smaller?
Mhm.
And this is a big idea in Kendra's book. Sometimes things just need to be made smaller, put maybe more in a bite-sized chunk. So this could refer to things like your commitments, your shopping list. We talked about that. Your meals or treats, holiday events and parties. Maybe you just need to scale it all down and make it smaller.
Mm.
It refers to kind of what Lisa's saying too about traditions. If you have that tradition of making something or doing something every year, but you're realizing it's not really life-giving to me. Maybe I should ask my people how they feel about it. And maybe
Yeah.
it can go. Maybe it can be crossed off the list for more simplicity this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
So all of these things that we're looking at here, this is kind of a little mini coaching session with you guys here, but we want to look at all these things through the lens of what matters most. And that's going to be different for everyone. Okay. So my values for the holiday are going to be different than Lisa's and different than you as a listener. But for instance, if you really desire, like what you want during the holiday is more quality time with those you love, then what needs to be made smaller and less complicated so that you can have that? So does that mean less cooking, less something? So you look at all these questions we've brought out to you. They'll probably be in the show notes through the lens of what you most value, or think of it as your intention for this Christmas or this holiday or even New Year's.
Mm.
So one
Yeah.
example is I love to cook and I love to make it kind of fancy. And I like to have all the foods and make them all like it can just be 3 of us and I'll make the full meal deal Thanksgiving. And then we'll do, it's great. You do have leftovers forever, but like
Yeah.
wear myself out while everybody's sitting on their tush doing whatever they're doing on Thanksgiving. I'm cooking in this, and I like it, but there comes a point where it is too much, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And no one is putting that expectation on me. So they're not saying we need to have
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 dishes. No, they don't. So I can look at managing my desire to make look like the Hallmark kind of dinner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I can scale it down. Another idea is I used to think I've got to run around town and go to every single holiday market or holiday event in town. And I've got to go here and there. And now I have learned it's not good for me or my daughter to run around to those. And so I kind of picked my favorites and I've scaled that down as well. Which ones bring me the most joy? Which ones serve my intention for that year?
Mm-hmm.
The things that I most value, the things I remember from last year that I want to carry on that are meaningful to me and to my family and my friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Michelle, on the Hallmark movies, they make it to every
I know.
event in town, and their towns start their events like December 1st, and they have one every day.
Yeah, I know.
They do it.
You're going to make my accent come out again. Don't you
Oh,
know?
no. I also was thinking about when you were talking about managing your menu to serve all the
Yes.
needs that you think are there anyway. One of my favorite restaurants, little shout out to Rogers Riverside Bistro, I think is the technical name of it. And
Mm-hmm.
in Snohomish, it has the most simple menu. Like there are only like 4 main dishes or something to choose from, and then he'll have his specials
Yeah,
and
it's
things.
true.
And when you order, you get like it's like very traditional. Like there's like the meat, the potatoes, and like maybe an extra vegetable or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's so good. And part of what I really like about that is there's like you look at the menu, everything's good for one, and then two, it's not overwhelming. There's just like these few
Yeah,
things
yeah.
to choose from. And you're like, this is really good. And I never find myself going, oh, I wish they offered this or I wish they offered that, And
Or they
yet we
brought
do
me all
that to
this bread beforehand. No, there's nothing.
yeah,
It
yeah,
truly is a place that exemplifies why simple and smaller is better. Not that the
yeah.
servings are necessarily really small, but it's really a
No.
simplified plate. It's very simplified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. One of the reasons I love it. Um, And so as I just was thinking, like as we were, getting ready to do this episode, and I was kind of reflecting on what helps me to keep this season more simplified. Part of it is kind of maintaining my regular life. Like I keep joking about, the Hallmark movies, like where's their regular life? Like where's their workout time? Where's their, quiet time in the morning, all of that. Like I want
Hmm.
to maintain a few things. And I was thinking about, I want to maintain my gym schedule. I want to maintain my walks and especially my morning time with God. So
Hmm.
even on, like Christmas morning, or I'm not going to go to the gym on Christmas morning. I'm not going to do that, but I'll do something to move my body, go for
Yeah.
a walk and have my time with God, like maintain those regular rhythms that
Hmm.
are life giving. Um, and I don't want to compromise any of those for any special, doing air quotes
Hmm.
if you're not on YouTube, any special holiday events. Like those I don't want to have those get pushed aside to do this other thing that I probably need to be built up as much as I can to even like handle that special thing.
Yeah. Well, because you
Yeah.
know that those are your foundations and that you need them for, like, back to that idea of stability. You need them for stability and peace.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So, we want to leave you with a couple simple steps as always. So, step number 1 is just to look at how could you look at gift giving a little differently this year. Um, so yeah, maybe you don't, maybe you're good on that, but
Yeah.
just to reflect on that, is that an area that's maybe caused you stress? How could you look at it differently? Is there maybe one person in your life that you could plan to be present with rather than give a present to?
Yeah.
So those ideas that Michelle listed from the book that she read, is there maybe one person that you could try that out on this year? Not
Hmm.
not overwhelming, just one person.
Yeah.
And then another idea is to spend a few minutes reflecting, journaling, or chatting with a friend about one of the questions we posed to you today, which we will put in our show notes. So they're just basically reflection questions
Hmm.
on last year and what you would like this year to look like. So
Yeah.
again, just relook, take a second look on what you want gift giving to look like. Maybe choose a friend to try it out, to be present with, and rather than give a present to, and then spend a few minutes reflecting on what you would like this holiday to look like using the questions that we gave you.
I can see where chatting with a friend over this would be so helpful, because there's sometimes where I remind a friend or they remind me that, do you remember like last year what you said you were never going to do again? I'm like, no, what was it? Remind me,
Yeah, tell me, what
please,
was it?
quick. Because we do forget, and then the friend will say, you said you wouldn't do that. I'm like, you're right. Okay, I don't want to do that again. I actually keep a Christmas journal where I
Yeah,
write the things I don't want to do again next year, and I do want to do what worked, what didn't work. Even things like I put this decoration here, and I just want to remember
mm,
that next year. It's just a
I
corny
love that.
thing I do. It's just for me.
And you use it though, because
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were talking about the other day, but I said I feel like you did this last year, and you're like, huh, I'm gonna look at my journal and see if I did
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you use it. It's useful.
That's where I found my New Year's letter, by the way, which we can talk about. It
Oh,
was in my Christmas journal.
there you
Smart.
go.
How part
Smart
of me.
place to put it. Yeah.
It was. All
Mhm.
right. In closing, let's talk about peace, friends.
Hmm.
Peace, which means shalom, that perfect wholeness. Isaiah 26:3 says, you will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. before we hit record today, we were just talking about and actually praying about that peace that we can have in the midst of a lot of turmoil in situations or people around us, but that inner peace, that gaze that looks to Jesus, that peace, that's peace that passes understanding. It's perfect peace. So
Yeah.
that would be our desire for you this holiday, friends, listeners.
Yeah.
And we are so grateful. Your gift to us is that you listen. Yeah, your gift to us is that you listen. And would you share this episode? That'll be a great gift to us. Share it with a friend. Get into our Facebook group where we discuss all these kinds of things. And if you are still shopping, but you don't want to go to a mall or a store, then we do have an alternative.
That's right.
On this podcast, we're always talking about a book or we're talking about products that we love. And we have put them, a small amount of them, because there's so many, into a place called Favorite Products or Favorite. I think it's called
Yeah,
Favorite Products. Yeah.
I think so.
It's on my website, breatheandbe.net, Favorite Products. Lisa will put that in the show notes. So you would go to that and just know that it's an affiliate link and it helps support this podcast because it'll take you to Amazon, but we'll get a little small commission from it. So we'd love for you to just see what fun things are there that you can basically gift your friends and family with the gift of wellness. It's all about wellness, all of our stuff. It's not all books, but there's a lot of books.
Yeah, it is. And that even though we get a little tiny amount, it doesn't charge you anymore. So I never understood that for a while, but yeah,
thank you
you
for
still
saying
pay.
that.
Like if it's on sale, you get the sale price. Yeah.
And you just do it through your regular Amazon cart. So easy peasy.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, friends. We will bless you as you continue to look at what you want your holidays to look like. Bye, friends.
We are so glad you joined us today, and we hope we've inspired you to take that one simple step for the whole you.
And if you've enjoyed this podcast, would you help us spread the word by passing it on to your friends and family, and also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Instagram, and those links are in the show notes. And as always, consult your healthcare provider before implementing any major exercise or diet changes. We hope to see you next week. Bye.